Last class, the easiest way to get the subject's head on the magazine to come in front of the nameplate on the magazine like we have here. So we have the musician on Rolling Stone magazine, and obviously we can see his head is behind the type. So we brought the type on here, and his head is behind, but we want to bring the head in front. But we still want this background, so it gets a little bit weird here. But there's a couple ways in which we can do it, and I'm going to show you what I would probably do if it were me. I'm going to zoom out just here a little bit. I'm going to select my nameplate at first and move it off to the side. I'm taking note of where the head is kind of covering it up. So I'm going to move this up here out of the way, and then I can just take the pen tool and I'm just going to begin clicking around here where I noticed that it really just made the difference was up here on the hair. So I'm going to try to give a lot of attention to the detail around the hair. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's hair and it's flying out, and as long as it looks fairly natural, I think we're going to be in good shape. So I'm just making this very irregular shape around here, kind of following his fly out hairs. I'm not being ridiculously careful about it. You can be a lot more detailed if you like, but I'm just trying to show you the principle here. All right, so we're going to end up with this shape that kind of follows his hair particularly. I'm going to go ahead and just, for a little bit of insurance, let's go ahead and come down a little bit further on his head. All right, so now I've created this shape that kind of shows the outline of his hair. Okay, so if I zoom out, now we can see we've got this. When I put my type down, it's going to cover up the type here. So now all I need to do is bring his head to the front. So the best way to do that is to select my background picture, and I'm going to copy that. Okay, and then let's see if I come over here. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste. Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to select the background and the shape I just made. Go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And now that's the only part of his head that's going to show. Then I can take this, put it over here, send it to the back. Like this, and then align it so that his head is aligned with that shape I just made. Let me show you. Okay, so here's that shape, and here's the full picture back behind. Then if I take my Rolling Stone, drop it down, I have this. So a real simple way using the clipping mask to do this. Another way, of course, that we could do it is using Photoshop. So if I go to Photoshop, I have the same image. What I am going to do, layer 1 is Bruce Springsteen. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that layer. So now I have two pictures that are exactly the same. I'm going to go to layer 1 copy, and you can do the same thing where you make a really good selection. Another really fast technique is to use the select subject, and that actually does a pretty good job. If I zoom in, we can see that it's done a fairly good job in an instant of going around here. It might not be perfect, so I could always take my lasso and add to my selection a little bit. If there are some places I think that are getting cut off, that might be a problem later on. Okay, so now I have him selected. I'm going to copy him, edit copy, and then paste. So now in a new layer, if I turn off everything, I have just his body. We can see that it's kind of messed up down here, but it doesn't even really matter. Okay, so now I can save this. Call him Bruce. Okay, if I go back to my Illustrator file, and let's go ahead and take this out of the way. Now I can file, place, go on my desktop, find my Bruce picture where he's been cut off from the background, place him, and again I can just align him right up here with the original photo. So those are two ways that we can get that head in front, and either one is gonna work. So hopefully that's helpful for you and explains that.